Please welcome to the stage, Mike Zakarian.
GM, good morning. Happy Monday. Hope everybody had a nice, relaxing, restful weekend. A lot of stuff going. We have playoff baseball. We have preseason basketball. We have football. We had a little bit of everything this morning. We also had football. We had the WNBA Finals Game 1 yesterday. It was a lot. A lot was going on. It was very nice. We're also rocking in a authentic Irish sweater gotten from the great country of Ireland. So yeah, that's how we're going to start this morning. Who do we got here? Sneeps, GM, good to see you, sir. We got Snoopaloop letting us know that we've got 2 holidays today that we will celebrate. Happy National Kick Butt Day. Also happy National Moldy Cheese Day. And I don't want to be too controversial this early in the week. I don't think we need a Moldy Cheese Day. I think I'm very comfortable not celebrating that, but okay. Hugo's here, the common man. All right. A Moldy Bong Water Patrol. Okay. Baudevine's here. We got Stubbs in the house. We got 3DH. We got Boston Base. We the people here. Everybody's here. Do me a favor. Like the stream. Subscribe to Team Hold if you haven't done so yet. John Dub in the chat. Some Pacers love from John Dub. I'm also, listen, I forgot I had entered this early this morning when I woke up, and this just started. So we just took Giannis with the second overall pick. I'm not going to stream the whole thing because we got stuff to talk about, but just in case I get distracted throughout the morning, know that I am drafting on Underdog. But this is where we're going to start, okay? You're like, are we going to start with baseball? Rowdy Rod also in the chat. Let's go, Rowdy Rod. Up early in that Portland time zone. Last night, and you might be able to see it underneath, bags under my eyes, because 2 things. I stayed up late watching Cowboys and Niners, and then also had adrenaline coursing through my brain and was unable to fall asleep at a regular, normal time, and then my sleep wasn't even fun. So here's why. I last night fired up just two entries into a little FanDuel, a little single game action. Okay, we had George Kittle as our captain. Let's look at the tape here. I'm going to share screen here. We had our friend George Kittle as the captain. We had Christian McCaffrey in there. We had Brock Purdy. We had Jake Ferguson of the Cowboys and the Niners defense. And ladies and gentlemen, we went Bank City first place. Okay, first place, little 7K hit right there. You can see we chopped it up with Jay Burke, who also had the same score. Look at how close this shit was. We won by 0.04. 0.04. Out of control. I was sweating stuff I didn't know was sweatable. It looked, every time it looked like I was securing it, something else would happen, right? So Brock Purdy's score was just a smidge worse than George Kittle. So if Purdy had surpassed Kittle, he would have moved up into the MVP spot. It would have been huge. I would have dropped way down, right? So Kittle's sweating that. When Juszczyk scored that touchdown on a Purdy pass, I was like, oh man, we're down bad. We're down so bad. And then we were still up a smidge. And then I thought we were in the clear, right? They're up big. Let's get the starters out of there. And then Purdy turns around, hands the ball off to Mason. Mason scores a touchdown. I'm like, good. No one's got Mason. Wrong. Somebody did have Mason. They jumped out of the first place. We were now down by 0.08. And then guess what? The Niners defense comes in, sacks Cooper Rush. We regain the lead. All the starters are out of the game, and we take it down. So for our first hit of the NFL season, we're basically treading water here through the first 4 weeks, and in week 5 we get our first bank. So that was very exciting to see. Go Niners, go George Kittle. And that was it was just a fun way to start the week. Okay, it was a fun way to start the week. I feel like I'm not down as bad as I really am in real life, so it feels good. It feels good, so it's worth being overtired. But anyways, enough about that. Enough about me just victory lapping myself. But you know what? It's my show, and I can do what I want. Um, One other like business note. Let's do some business. The NBA bet, right? Monday through Friday, we're back now, 9 a.m. Unless I'm tired. Sometimes I take a day off, okay? But we're the NBA preseason's back, so I'm back. Also back tonight. The debut. I think this is season 3. Season 3 of the 89 Cavs returns tonight at 7 p.m. Steve, Justin, the gang's all here. Steve has been loading up on takes the last few weeks, so I'm very excited to rip that off. That's going to be fun. So tune in tonight at 7 o'clock. Shot Tank is back Wednesday at 9. And then Friday, for those that missed it, our friend Kawaisenberg DFS joined the show to fire up some underdog or underdog happy hour, which we are now doing every Friday at 3 p.m. So the content is a cooking. So get excited from that. Oh, the Bickle Bobbler is back over on Twitch. Good to see you, Bickle Bobbler. And then last but not least, we are just a few weeks away from the NBA season officially tipping off. I should, let's use the right lingo, officially tipping off, which means the tip-off show is just a couple of weeks away, October 24th from noon to 8. We've got so many fired up guests that are going to be joining the show. We've got some NBA ticket giveaways. We have some SORARE merch giveaways, some Team Hold merch giveaway. We got a lot of fun stuff coming at you. So get excited for that. Just get hyped. Get hyped for all of us, will you? All right. Are you guys ready to talk about some basketball? You know what? We haven't done a giveaway in a long time. You know what? And for the people, let's do it for the people, not we the people. Although I saw we the people, you hit a 2K parlay. Is that right? Nice. Let's do this. Let's like the stream. And I know this is a basketball show, but you're going to like the stream. You're going to subscribe, and then you're going to put hashtag Kettle into the chat. Put Kettle into the chat. All right. Because it's time. It is time to give away a little bottom shot or something like that. I know you wanted to go hard lawn. All right, that's not going to work. And then what we'll do before we dive into our agenda, we're going to make our next 2 picks, right? Because we started with the 2-hole. We got Giannis with the 2nd pick overall. And this is going to be an interesting turn. I think we're going to take Jaylen Brown here with this next pick, and then maybe Kyrie, although I do kind of want more Zion. I actually think I'm going to take Zion here. We're going to get some more Zion, and then we're hopefully going to grab Kyrie here. Even though I'm not like a huge Kyrie fan right now, I do need a guard here sooner rather than later. Although I will say, I could just start 3 wings. We could start 3 wings in a row because I'm assuming this is going to go Banchero. Although Slev is probably going to take a guard here. Let's hope he takes Jalen Brunsanity, and then we'll take Kyrie Irving. Why don't we do that? Oh, Dustin Lee's in the chat. Good to see Dustin here. First week, I didn't play Kittle in my Rumble lineup. Dude, I think I finished. All right, we are going to take Kyrie. We're going to move along. Jaylen Brown. I should have taken Jaylen Brown there. That's an insane value, but whatever. Talking about Rumble, yeah, I ended up. I had like a top lineup. I had the Bears quarterback, Bears wide receiver. This was the OG cards. Kelsey is my tight end. Who's my Miami running back? And I forget who my defense was, but I think I won 50 gold, which I think is $5 million. Maddie says it's sad how giddy I was over Oscar making a 3 at the buzzer to send a preseason game into overtime. Oh, yeah, let's get a fucking Detroit basketball drop, huh? Let's get a Detroit basketball.
Detroit basketball. Detroit basketball. You better
That was fun. I loved that. Also, Billy Jackson in the chat. Let's go. Will Chet Holmgren be eligible for Rookie of the Year? Yes, he will be. Yes, he will be, Rowdy Rod. Yes, he would. Thank you, Dustin. All right, let's talk some of the preseason hoops last night. Actually, I'm going to go over the whole weekend because I think there's some fun stuff. Actually, before we do that, let's hit some news and notes. So the first important thing to talk about, Joel Embiid announced on Friday or Saturday, I can't remember when it was, that he is officially going to play for Team USA in the Paris 2024 Olympics. He had eligibility to play for Cameroon, also the host nation, Francais, and then he chose Team USA. He had a really cool statement, that said, basically he was like, I want to play for, this is my home. This is where I play. This is where the fans have supported me. But what I thought was really nice is he's like, my son was born in the United States. I want him to be rooting for his country. His dad would play for his country. I thought that was really nice. I saw some wild replies to his announcement about it. Most notably, Pharmacies from the First Mint community, who's also in the Top Shot Street, was like, dude, way to fade the grind, like run away from the grind. I'm like, what are you talking about? That's crazy town. Like that was such a nice announcement. You're like, dude, way to run away from the grind, you coward. I'm like, nah, dude, let Joel Embiid cook. Okay, wow. Tesla says, what's more engaging, hearing people talking about their fantasy teams or their gambling winnings, or reading comments about what's more engaging? How about that, Tesla? Why don't you sit on that? Anyways, I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, Team Hold Paris meetup. Let's go. I thought that was pretty cool. I mean, obviously, because I'm proud to be an American, that Joel Embiid is playing for Team USA is pretty fun. I also saw that there was that the Steve Kerr and the coaching staff is courting Drew Holiday to play for Team USA. I guess they want that ball defending guard. So we'll see. I mean, it's so far everybody. Wow, we get a runny nose, bros. So far, everybody and their mother, anyone that's ever played organized basketball so far, has said that they are committed to playing for Team USA in the Paris 2024 Olympics. Thank you, Kyle Kuzma. I don't know if you were going to make the cut, sir, but we'll see how that lineup shakes out. I'm sure we'll start to get more news as we get closer to Christmas. I imagine they start planning that a little bit more. But anyway, so that was exciting. And then last but not least, for NBA news and notes, the Beantown boys, Peyton Pritchard, got a pay ton day as he signed a 4-year, $30 million extension. I thought what was noticeable or notable about that, also noticeable, is that Pritchard requested a trade halfway through last season. I think he wanted to spread his wings and fly, right? A little baby bird, let him out of the nest, because obviously he wasn't getting a lot of playing time. He was only playing garbage time. And then all of a sudden, Malcolm Brogdon's bounced. Marcus Smart is bounced. And now I think he's just going to be either the first or second guard off the bench, depending on what the starting five looks like for the Celtics. If they start White and Holiday together, he's the first guard. If White's coming off the bench, then he's the second guard. But I imagine he's going to start getting in that 18 to 22 minutes a game type role. He's obviously like a top tier scorer when he's out there. We'll go over his line in a little bit. But that, I don't know. I thought that was a good for both parties. Also, the deal is like pretty tradable if they want. If they decide it's not like working out for them. But yeah, I thought that was great for the Celtics. I think Peyton Pritchard's legit, man. I do. I know he's a defensive liability out there, but so is half of the guards in this league. So, all right, before we get into preseason, we're back on the clock here. So far we've started with Kyrie, Giannis, and Zion. I think we're going to grab some Desmond Bane here, I think. I kind of want Josh Giddey instead, but we might be able to go Bane and then Giddey, and then we'll go from there. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm going to take a mental health break because your boy needs to blow his Gester news. But I'm just not going to do it, guys. And it feels good to not cave to the chat because I am the boss. Like I said earlier, I'm in charge today. I am in charge. You can't tell me what to do. Boston Bay says super chat erasure. Boston Bay, I already said it. I literally read it out loud. I said Paris meetup. Let's go. I literally read it out loud. All right, one more pick here. Do we go Giddey or Franz or Chet or Vucci Main? I think we're just going to go Giddey. We'll do a 0 center build here. All right, back to life, back to reality. Let's do that. Let's remove that. Blow his nose, sir. Tessa says back to Peyton Pritchard. If they don't have someone better to be a lead guard off the bench to replace him in a few years, I'd be a bit worried. But yeah, not a bad deal. 4 years feels a little long. Yeah, I just feel like at $30 million, that's not too bad. I get what you're saying. I do think with the current roster construction, he makes a lot of sense for right now. So we'll be interested to follow that along. All right. So NBA preseason started this week. They're back in action. I am excited to overreact to some news. It's mostly positive stuff, but we'll start with that Celtics game. We're going to start with yesterday's action, work our way back. So the Celtics played the Sixers last night on the worldwide leader on ESPN. They won 114-106. Harden and Embiid ran away from the grind again. They didn't play. the Harden stuff is pretty fascinating, right? He is back in practice, in shape, having a good time. Like, vibes are good. But it sounds like the Clippers have started to up the ante a little bit to try to get James Harden in a Clippers uniform sooner rather than later. There's been rumors of a third team being involved. I imagine this gets done before the start of the season, like maybe in the next couple of days, because I would feel like they want to get people in the locker rooms before the start of the year, right? Man, allergies just taking over. This is we're deteriorating quickly. Justin says load management going to be substantially different this year. Yes and no. So it's going to be substantially different in the sense that, like, yes, there are rules set in place, but like most of the guys that we are always like, oh man, they never play. They're kind of like grandfathered into this, like LeBron, because of how much and how long he's played in the league. Like, he's got kind of a get out of jail free card. So does Kawhi Leonard, because he was battling injury. So like, there's so many caveats within that new ruling that, like, yes, it's going to be better. I don't think it actually fixes anything. I still think it's going to be one of those things where they care about it for like the first 3 months or 2 months of the season, and then they stop caring about it. TST, we had a TST trying bang, bang, bang. Tesla says beef was never with teammates, only with Morey. Yeah, that is also true. Also true. Anyways, let's keep moving. So Maxey played 29 minutes last night. He looked awesome. 24, 4, and 4 in that time. The Celtics starters all played around like 24 to 27 minutes. Tatum had 13, 10, and 5 in that time. Kristaps Porzingis, who, let's not forget, has a concerning past from his time in New York. And speaking of that, Katie Heindel, who is going to be coming on to the show on the 24th for the opening day show. She was here last year. She's got a Substack, Basketball Feelings, which is really good. Also with a podcast that comes along with it. Wrote, and I retweeted it so you can find it on my Twitter, but wrote a very interesting and I think important piece on how we talk about players like, say, Porzingis, Miles Bridges, Kevin Porter Jr., Chauncey Billups, like the laundry list of all these guys, and how, like, the more we talk about it, the less that stuff is mentioned when we talk about those players. Anyways, I think it's a really good read. I'll recommend checking it out. But for Porzingis's debut, he did look really solid. 17 and 5 in 25 minutes. It's just they're going to be able to do a lot with Porzingis. Again, if he stays healthy, which is always the question. Jaylen Brown had 19 and 3 in that time. And then last but not least, Peyton Pritchard, kid, 26 points and 4 dimes in 23 minutes was fire. So again, you don't want to overreact too much to what you're seeing in like preseason basketball, right? So I'm not like, who cares? Wins or losses doesn't really matter. You just try getting guys on the court. Tessa said, do you have any additional injury concerns with Sixers and Nurse's tendencies to run player into the ground? So the only person that I'd be concerned about is Joel Embiid and PJ Tucker, I guess, even though PJ Tucker seems to not get hurt. He is older than me, I think. So that is a concern. They like, the report came out, I think it was like a week or two ago, that they were like, oh yeah, we're going to play Embiid even more than we already did. I think that is a little bit concerning. If that's what they're doing. Just because, like, Embiid tends to break down in the playoffs every single year. Like, and a lot of that is like, they're just freak injury stuff, right? But I don't know. I'd just be a little bit nervous about that. But I'm like Maxey, Tobias Harris, like all of those guys, I'm not like too concerned about. But it's Nick Nurse. Nick Nurse does do that kind of thing, right? All right, let's move on to the next game. The next game we had the Bucks and Bulls. There wasn't too much like to take away from this. Giannis and Dame both did not play. The Bulls starters didn't play a ton of minutes. The only thing that was like noticeable was Kobe White and Pat Williams combined for 27 points in like limited minutes. I thought that was interesting. Kobe White got the start alongside DeRozan and I think it was DeRozan, Levine, Vooch, Pat Williams, and Kobe White. I was surprised to see Kobe White start there. No Giannis and Dame or Middleton, as I mentioned. The only Bucks, well, Thanasis had 14 points. Shout out Thanasis. But the one guy I was interested in watching was Marjan Beauchamp, the second-year guy who was dangled in a bunch of trades. He dropped 18 and 9 in 28 minutes. So he got his full workload, but I don't know. I'm always interested in rookies taking their second year, like how they look early in their second year. We'll talk about Benedict Mathurin in a little bit, but I guess that's good news. Good news for the Bucks. If you're like worried about your depth, maybe Beauchamp takes a little bit of a leap, and that like fills in some of the gaps there. I did see a wild report yesterday from Adrian Griffin, the head coach of the Milwaukee Bucks, who said we're excited for the defensive prowess of Malik Beasley, and I was like, what? Malik Beasley, like, sure, you want to say, hey, we want a streaky shooter to come off the bench and just knock down threes. Fine, I'll listen to that. Malik Beasley as a defender, what are we doing? What are we also? I'm noticing, are we balding a little bit? What's going on here? This feels a little light right here. Maybe I just slept funny. Uh-oh, guys. The age is happening. We need a mental health check. Good Lord. Let's talk about some HJs. I'm sorry this didn't come with a hand job. I just don't think it's included in the airdrops. That's stylistically, that's tough to include that in an airdrop. Time we see a video, I just look younger, healthier, happier, right? Yikes. That mental health check did not work. But anyways, yeah, I don't see Malik Beasley being a lockdown defender anytime soon. It was the point of that conversation. Let's go on to Suns and Pistons, as we were talking about earlier with Asher Thompson, right? Suns won 130 to 126. KD scored 12 and 13 minutes. Booker scored 12 and 15 minutes. Beal, had 11, 4, and 3 in 14 minutes. Grayson Allen came off the bench and dropped 18 and 20 minutes. On the Pistons side of things, Cade had 12 and 6. He played 23 minutes. Asher Thompson, the rookie, 12, 10, and 6. My guy played 39 minutes. That's a big old workload here for preseason. And then Marvin Bagley at 25 and 7. That's notable only because, as the Pistons have said, basically Bagley and Wiseman are battling it out to see who's going to be the backup 5 for this team. Yeah, there you go, Maddie. Right on cue says Bagley making his case for backup big over Wiseman. Wiseman, I believe, had I think he had like 6 and 7 or something like that. Like, he didn't have a terrible game, but not a great game. That's for damn sure. And so Bagley was out there working. It is so wild just thinking like both of those guys, former second round picks who have second overall picks who have just kind of flamed out and are just grasping for air here. It's weird. I feel like I'm rooting for both of them. I have a soft spot for Wiseman, but it does seem like Bagley is making a stronger case. I'm fascinated with what Detroit is going to do with their starting squad, right? You've got Cade, Ivy, Asher Thompson. That seems like that's going to be your first 3, but you also have Bojan Bogdanovic. You start Bojan at the 4 and then Duren at the 5. Does Thompson come off the bench and then you start Duren and beef stew? They've just got like a bunch of guys, and they don't really make sense. And maybe they're not worried about it making sense right now because they're like, hey, listen, we're not going to be good yet anyways. All right, before we jump to the next game, we got another pick coming. Top Shot Tesla said, watch one Bagley video of him dominating summer workouts. Yeah, there we go. Maybe it is going to be Bagley. Maybe Wiseman needs to get another home, but I'm telling you, man, if Wiseman can't make it work there, I don't know where he's going to make it work. All right, so this is our squad right now. Kyrie, Bane, Giddey, Giannis, Zion. Oh man, I auto-drafted Bridges. Ugh, gross. And then Miles Turner as a big. I actually think we're gonna take Yakapurtle here, and then we might grab another guard. Austin, Tyus, Buddy. Shaden Sharp. We might scroll down to Shaden Sharp. I think we're going to take, oh no, not Draymond. Shaden Sharp we're going to take next. Let me cue that up and then we'll get back to life, back to reality. All right. Superloop says, would you recommend buying their Top Shot moments? No, I wouldn't recommend buying any Top Shot moments right now. Ooh, Shaden Sharp just got drafted. Good Lord. I think we might, Austin Reeves, Klay Thompson, we'll get a share of Austin Reeves. Who cares? Let's get a share of Austin Reeves. All right, back to some of the preseason action. So that was Phoenix. And I will say in the few minutes that I watched of KD, Beal, and Booker running around, Nurkic actually looked pretty good with them. I know there was a clip everybody was masturbating to where it was like, oh, look at Nurkic grabbing the rebound, dribbling it up, and then making a pass. We haven't seen a big man do that in years. Well, enjoy it now because Nurkic loves to play 32 games a year. So I would just pump the brakes on that. But anyways, the Suns did look good. They're going to get whatever shot they want. They're going to be mid-range snipers between those three key guys. So, if you're a Suns fan, you got to feel good. Shout out Coach Shark Holmes. All right, let's do the Grizz and grind. Grizzlies beat the Pacers 127-122. Benedict Mathurin, he looks pretty good. The young dudes from Indiana looked great. Mathurin had 18 and 7 in 22 minutes. And then the rookie, Jarris Walker, dropped 19, 9, and 4 in his time on the court. For the Grizz, Desmond Bane had 17 and 4. Jaren Jackson Jr. played 25 minutes. He had 18 points, 5 boards, but he had 5 blocks in those 25 minutes. So Jaren Jackson Jr. is back. And then last but not least, Jake LaRavia, 15 and 3 in 20 minutes. That's somebody I want to pay attention to because LaRavia didn't play a ton of minutes for the Grizzlies last season, but they seemed pretty high on him. And I just feel like there's a chance that he pops a little bit this season, especially with Ja starting, not starting the first 25 minutes, and the roster just looking a little bit different. I wonder if he sneaks in there this season or not. Also, big body Lofton was there, but whatever. Yeah, John Dub said Jarris looked clean out there. He really, not a lot of discussion around Jarris Walker. I know there's a lot of hype between, Halliburton, Obi Toppin. They still need to figure out what they're going to do with Buddy Hield. Like, is Buddy Hield going to continue to be on the Pacers? I don't know, but I think this is going to be a fun, exciting team. Happy for John Dub and Yachty if Yachty's still in this universe. Raptors, the Rap City. Raptors beat the Kangs 112-99. Not a lot to take away from this. I did think Gary Trent Jr., who, again, not somebody I thought we'd be talking about during preseason. I figured he barely played. He scored 22 points in 21 minutes. So more points than minutes. We love that. OG Anunoby had 14 in 20 minutes. Scotty Barnes only played 18 minutes, but he had 15.7 dimes and 4 boards. Or it might have been 7 boards and 4 dimes. I think that's what it was. So he looked good facilitating. And then on the Kang side of things, Sabonis only played 16 minutes. But if anybody was wondering, like, oh, maybe the Sabonis thing was a fluke last year, he's not going to fill the stats like he did for his first full season with the Kings. He had 7.6 boards and 6 dimes in 16 minutes. So he's going to continue to be Jokic light this year, it feels like. And then Vezenkov, the guy, the former Eastern European, I think the Euro League MVP. He dropped, what was his line? 12 points in 11 minutes. So that was fun to see. We're now going to go talk about the Utah Jazz, and we're going to start this highlight with a little. We go. THT was a beast out there. He had 13 points in 6 times. So there you go. Good for him. Lauri Markkanen had 10, 8, and 2 in 18 minutes. So somebody, I brought this up a couple of times, but somebody to pay attention to for the Jazz, because the Jazz guard situation is a little weird, right? You know, you have Jordan Clarkson and Colin Sexton, but I think in an ideal world, they are both 2 guards, right? They're both not like they're not handling the ball the whole time. I know Clarkson can run the point, but I think they are still looking for an actual point guard to start alongside Clarkson or to play alongside Sexton in the second unit. And so they drafted the rookie Keontae George. We'll talk about him a little bit, but Chris Dunn is somebody, shout out Chicago Bulls fans. Chris Dunn is somebody they added to the roster late last season. And when the Jazz were shutting it down and trying to lose their games aggressively to get out or to get into the, into the lottery, he started popping a little bit. And then I know on the Zach Lowe podcast, I think he had Tim McMahon on, Van McMahon, if you will. And they were talking about how, like, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Chris Dunn start. I don't know if he's going to start, but it's something I'm going to pay attention to this preseason, especially if you are in the SORARE streets or in the DFS streets, somebody like a cheap flyer that you can throw at. Anyways, Chris Dunn had 15 and 5 in 16 minutes. And then Keontae George, the rookie who just smoked up Summer League, he had 10, 5, and 2 in 25 minutes. On the Clipper side of things, nothing really to note. Everybody played like 9 minutes, but Paul George had 8 and 5. Bones was the high scorer with 18 and 4 in 24 minutes. Let me catch up on the chat here. Tesla saying the Raptors play style looking totally different, though. Pascal might be taking a step back this year. More of a similar role he had in championship teams. Darko preaching that quick offense. Yeah, I'm hopeful. I think the Raptors will go as Scotty Barnes goes. So if you do see that Scotty Barnes playing that like point forward role in an effective and efficient way, and the shooters shoot the ball. I mean, they got Jakob Poeltl down low. I don't know. I'm hopeful. I want them to be competitive. I am hopeful. All right, let's move on. We only got a couple games left. We had 2 games. We'll cover them both back-to-back. Wolves and the Mavericks in Abu Dhabi. Karl Anthony Towns back in Abu Dhabi. Actually, I don't know if the Dominican Republic played in Abu Dhabi. I might just be thinking of Team USA there. But anyways, Karl Anthony Towns in their first game, the Wolves won 111-99. Towns dropped 20 and 4 in 17 minutes, only to be outshined by Luka, who dropped 25 and 5 in 17 minutes.
Luka magic.
And similarly to the guard situation in Utah, something I want to pay attention to is what's happening in Minnesota, right? So we know they have Mike Conley. Ant's probably going to handle the ball a little bit more, but we might have been 2 years too late on Nickeil Alexander-Walker, who looks awesome for Canada in the FIBA World Cup. So with Ant not starting, he sat that first game. Nas slid into the starting lineup. He dropped 11, 5, and 5 in 22 minutes. I don't know. I just want to pay attention to. Maybe Nickeil is one of like the first guards off the bench. Maybe he's the backup lead guard. I don't know. Something to pay attention to. And then Naz Reid, who again, one of the like highest paid backup bigs in the league. I think he had 16 and 7. We love some Naz Reid. In the second game, Wolves won again 104-96. This time Ant-Man played. He had 13 and 3 in 17 minutes. Big Cat had 14 and 3 in 18 minutes. Nas again 14 and 3 in 16 minutes. The other shout out Aaron Borland, the rookie Leonard Miller, who I know Skeets was very high on. He had 10 points in 14 minutes. And then again, the fantasy darling who, if Kyrie Irving decides to drop a grenade halfway through, or if somebody gets hurt, Jaden Hardy, 22 and 8 in 23 minutes, man. He was fire. And then Luke had 18, 6, and 5 in 19 minutes. So nothing to really take away from that, both of those games, except for the fact that Jaden Hardy still looks like he's going to be a legit offensive threat and maybe carve out his role as like a backup scoring guard for the Mavs. And then again, if Luka or Kyrie misses time, he immediately becomes just like a massive play in all fantasy formats. And then figuring out what's happening in Minnesota with that like other guard spot. Cause you know, Conley's getting older. I think Conley's great. I think he'll be like a nice calming presence for that Minnesota offense. And I'm excited to see what Minnesota can do as a healthy squad, right? Can they figure out having Rudy and Cat at the same on the floor at the same time while Anthony Edwards is starting to evolve into a superstar in the league? There's a lot of Anthony Edwards buzz right now, especially, I mean, we talked about it with Underdog, right? But him being like the 7th overall pick, like going ahead of guys like Sabonis and Anthony Davis and Steph Curry, I feel like that is a little jarring right now, and I feel like we might be holding that Captain America flag up a little too strong. But anyways, excited to see what Minnesota can do here in with a healthy squad this season. And then the last game that everybody was hard as hell for, Warriors and Lakers. The Dubs got a dub, 125-108. Anthony Davis played 13 minutes and had 15 and 5. He just continues to be like a fantasy point per minute god. D'Lo had 15 and 5 in 16 minutes. Kuminga, J-Cum, had 24 and 8. 24 points in 24 minutes. Moses Moody had 15 and 4 in 24 minutes, and Clay had 10 and 4 in 13 minutes. But the thing that was very exciting was watching Chris Paul and Steph Curry play together. I know everybody's been sharing their practice highlights. And in the few minutes it looked good. I still think the Warriors, the squad that we're watching right now in Golden State, is not going to be the squad we're watching come February after the trade deadline. I feel like we're going to see Kuminga and Moody move because the squad is like built to win right now. And they unless Kuminga makes a considerable jump, I just don't see them being on the same team there come the trade deadline. But Kuminga did look good, and they're going to need him early on, right? Because Draymond's set to miss 4 to 6 weeks, I believe, with that high ankle sprain. So, and the other thing I wanted to know too, because I feel like every quote, I don't know if I just follow Harrison Fagan too closely on Twitter, but every quote coming out of LA's, dude, Max Christie is a dog. So Max Christie had 15 and 2 in his short amount of time there. I'm not short amount of time, in 25 minutes. So I wonder if he carves out a role for himself this year. I don't know, but that's something to pay attention to. Little Max Christie love for the haters. So, or for the Laker haters. So we'll see. Common Man in the chat saying, kid trying together Hardy to ball handle more and lead an offense. Kid trying together Hardy. Oh, to get Hardy? Is it supposed to say, are you driving again, Common Man? Are you driving? Let's take a quick break here. Speaking of So Rare, which we've name dropped a couple of times, let's do a little So Rare ad, and then we'll second half of the show. Today's NBA Bit is brought to you by So Rare. Daily fantasy sports is annoying. Constantly paying attention to injury news, who's starting, who's sitting, and just having to remember to enter your lineups each and every day. With So Rare, you just have to enter your lineup once for each game week. And instead of having to pay an entry fee each time you enter a contest with So Rare, once you buy your cards, the tournaments are free. Each game week, you'll have a chance to win more card rewards to bolster up your roster. And this year, So Rare is introducing cash prizes. So sign up for So Rare today using the link in the description, and they'll start you with 20 free common cards. And by using our link, once you buy 5 cards from auction, they'll give you a 6th one free. So sign up for So Rare today and see if you can take down Mike Sorarian. You see the dog. Dog's excited for that giveaway. Like, he got up. He's like, dude, can you take me out for a walk? He saw me like slowing down my dialogue, and he was like, is it walk time? So now he's gonna wait patiently. Like, here we go. Come here, bud. Come here. See if he comes. No. Yeah, there we go. Good boy. Top Shot Tesla in the chat said, are we undervaluing adding one of the greatest offensive minds in the last 20 years, CP3, to 2 of the best shooters of all time, at least on the offensive end? Yeah, I mean, listen, I think the bigger concern with CP3 and this squad, right, is just the lack of depth that the Warriors have. And I know that's not directly related to Chris Paul. It's not like they lost a bunch of players in that Chris Paul deal. But, you know, like, if Chris Paul, like, you can't lose any minutes from these guys. They're going to have to play a considerable amount of minutes because I don't think they have the pieces to come in. I do think, I mean, CP3, Steph, Clay, Draymond, that's going to be one of the highest IQ for guys on the court at any time, right? I mean, because we like to make fun of Draymond, but Draymond is a very high-level, high IQ basketball player. Obviously, Clay and Steph are geniuses at what they do, and then you add someone like Chris Paul, who has been like one of the best floor generals in the history of the game. So you put all those together, I totally agree that they should be an offensive masterpiece, but they just can't get hurt. And I know that's the same story for anybody, right? If Giannis goes down, the Bucks are screwed. If Tatum goes down, the Celtics are screwed. It's true for all these squads. But I feel like it's a little bit more dire for Golden State because you're relying on somebody, again, who was my age to not get hurt. And my back hurts from sitting down right now. And I can only imagine how Chris Paul's feeling, although he hasn't eaten meat in like a decade. So maybe that's what he's got going for him. But to your point, I do think their offense is going to put on, like, if they can stay healthy getting into April, I feel like what they can be a nightmare matchup offensively for almost any team. Defensively, I think that's another question, because the thing they have to figure out, right, is like, yes, they would like to play Looney and Draymond together, but now you only have 3 guys who can shoot the ball, and CP3's 3-point shot, like, his percentages came down a little bit last year. Like, there was some concern he couldn't hit a bucket. Right. So now you have Draymond out there, you have Looney out there, and you have CP3 out there. That's 3 guys who aren't really like deep 3-point threats. Now the floor is like shrinking on you a little bit. Maybe they play Draymond at the 5 at times, or maybe they play Looney at the 5 at times. You had Kuminga or Wiggins, and I don't know. They're going to have to figure out. They're going to have to figure out what they're going to do shooting wise, but I don't, we'll see. I mean, I still think they're going to be, sorry, we're getting a little hot and sweaty up in here. I still think they're going to be a real threat in the West. And I feel like this is the 3rd or 4th time I've done this, where I've tried to take a look at my Western rankings, and the West, man, is going to be so jumbled up. And we thought it was bad last season, where everybody's scrambling those last couple of games. Right. And I'll share this here. But we've got, let me blow this up a little bit. So this is what I have right now. And again, this is like changing day to day, but I have the Nuggets, Suns, Warriors as the top 3 teams. For the content, we have the Thunder as a 4 seed, because I've been saying that all off season. Lakers as the 5, Wolves as the 6. And I'm thinking the Pelicans are healthy this year, and I'm not forgetting that the Pelicans were really good last season until Zion and Ingram started missing a considerable amount of time. So the Pelicans right there as the 7 seed, the Kings 8, Grizz 9, Mavs 10, and that means the Clippers are missing the play-in game in this world. And then you got Jazz, Rockets, Spurs, Blazers. Like, there's just so many solid teams right here. I just don't really know. nobody can get hurt. Nobody can get hurt because if one of the Warriors missed, and the Warriors as a 3 seed is probably too high, honestly, now that I'm looking at it again. But wait, Tesla says very excited to see the off-ball movement. Yeah, they're going to be just running circles. We the People says the Clips ain't missing it. I know. I agree. I don't think the Clippers are missing it either. But I also look at this and I'm like, who is missing it then? Which one of these teams are you saying is not finishing in the top 10? Maybe you could say the Mavericks implode again. The Grizzlies can't figure it out without Ja Morant, even though they've done that every single season. And as Keith Parrish from Fast Break Breakfast said, the Grizzlies are just a regular season. They figured out the regular season. They know how to win games in the regular season. Do the Kings take that far of a step back from the 3 seed that they fall out of the play-in? Or maybe you're just like, I don't believe in Zion staying healthy. That's the case for the Pelicans not making it, that they don't stay healthy. The Wolves, the Wolves were, what were they, a 7 or 8 seed last year while not having Karl Anthony Towns like the entire season. Sorry, we're up for another pick here. We need to get another Wang. Let's get Vando. But then, so right, though the Wolves, I still think the Wolves are going to win a ton of games with that squad. They have a deep, again, I don't think they're going to make a deep run in the playoffs, but they have a deep roster. The Lakers, you're going to be like, hey, listen, Anthony Davis misses 55 games. Fine. The Thunder, there's no way. The Thunder are too talented. Like, they're at least going to be top 10. So, it's just so hard. It's just so hard to figure that out. Oh, we're back on the clock again with another pick here. Do we get some Bogdan of the Bogdanoviches? Maybe we grab another Grady Dick. No, let's just take Bogdan. We'll take Bogdan. So I don't really know. Somebody's getting fired. Somebody is getting fired this year because there's going to be a team that has high aspirations. And I don't mean just like regular season aspiration, a team that's supposed to do well in the playoffs, make a run that is literally going to finish either in the playing game or outside of the playing game. Like, you can make a case for every single one of these teams except for the Nuggets. And I agree with the people. The Mavs don't have depth, but they do have Luka. And I feel like Luka is a one-man wrecking machine and it almost like a floor of 45 wins. If he doesn't get hurt, they're going to win like 44 to 50 games. And that's not including like what happens with Kyrie. So like, you ready? We can make a case for literally everyone. If Jokic, without doing like massive injuries, right? So Nuggets are the top. They're the best team in the league. I don't think it's that close. I think they are number 1 overall. The Suns, you can be like, they don't have any depth, right? The Suns have 0 depth. Eric Gordon's their only like reliable bench guy. Their backup big is fucking Drew Eubanks, right? And I'm sorry, nobody in their world or nobody last year was like, you know who's got great bigs? The Portland Trail Blazers. Yet the Phoenix Suns went out there and acquired both bigs from Portland, both Nurkic and Eubanks. That's who they went out and got. So they have no depth, right? The Warriors, we just talked about, if one injury, they're an injury away. They have 0 depth as well. They're relying on Chris Paul, who's my age. Oklahoma City Thunder, I don't know. Even if Chet Holmgren gets hurt, I feel like they're still going to be in a top 10 team. The Wolves, they're like, hey, listen, they implode because Rudy and Cat can't figure it out. They get off to a slow start. Everybody, like, people get angry. Anthony Edwards start tweeting stuff, right? So that could be your case for that. The Pelicans, we already know what it is. It's like, hey, Zion hasn't been healthy ever. Vibes are bad. Okay, that's your case for the Pelicans. The Kings, you'd be like, the Kings stayed so healthy. Eubanks is not a legit. I don't know. I don't see it. I don't see it as a legit big. But anyways, let's keep moving. The Kings, you could be like, listen, no one missed any time for that team, right? Sabonis barely miss any games. Fox didn't miss any game. Like, they were just so healthy. They ran pure, but I still don't see that. The Grizzlies, you can be like, they just can't figure it out without Ja Morant. They get up to a slow start, can't get back over the hump. I don't see that happening either. The Mavericks, you can make the case for depth, but I don't know. I kind of like Jaden Hardy. I like Josh Green. I'm excited to see what Derek Lively looks like. I don't know. Clippers, you can be like, dude, well, Kawhi's still going to miss a ton of games. Paul George misses games. They haven't improved at all, right? They've just like lost pieces. They're relying heavily on Russell Westbrook, even though I like Russ. You get the Jazz. I don't know. We don't have to make cases for Jazz, Rockets, Spurs, and Blazers, but you can make a case that they're like still talented and are going to steal games, right? The Spurs is kind of wild because they have. Wait, Luka fell off? I don't think so. He missed time. He missed some time. Luka was awesome last year. Maybe you don't like watching Luka play basketball. Luka was a menace. But even the Blazers, right? They're Blazers starting 5. Who are they throwing out there? You got Scoot. You got Simons, Simons was like one of the best 3-point shooters in the league last year. You've got Jeremy Grant, who you could play at the 3 or the 4, right? You could Shade and Sharp, who can slide in there. And then there DeAndre Ayton, Time Lord, coming off the bench. I don't know. I feel like there's just the West is just so good. You guys with your Luka takes are funny. I mean, the Luka takes are embarrassing. That he fell off. But I agree. I mean, listen with the people. If you told me the Clippers finished 3rd in the West, I'd believe you. That's just how crazy the West is. Like, there's going to be 2 games separating like 4th from 15th. It's going to be nuts. Listen, Sneeps talking about Luke Cornett. Luke Cornett's been getting a lot of love on socials. The Celtics have been very excited about him as the backup big. So I almost got fooled, by the way, by a fake Woj account saying that Blake Griffin was back with the Celtics. Where can Blake sign? Is Blake just like, hey, I don't want to do training camp. I don't want to do preseason. I know I'm not going to play that much anyways. Pick me up in late October, and I'll slide in there. All right, I've got one more pick left in Underdog, and then we are, and then we're gonna slide it. Wait, did I see Mihal in the chat? Where's Mihal? Mihal just checking in. Is Top Shot back? No. No, he's not. As back as F1 ratings in North America. I know, man, dude. I think people just got tired of seeing the Max Verstappen stuff. The Red Bull's just been so dominant; it's taken some of the fun out of it. Like because I haven't been watching week to week, but I've just been like checking in. We the people. Oh man, no. He said, "Do you believe the Simmons comeback hype?" I mean, listen. I just hope that he can play regularly. Like, I hope he's just out there. I hope he's just actually playing games. So we'll see, man. But I'm not buying him to all of a sudden come back to like all-star level. We've heard this every single offseason. Like, holy shit, dude, Ben Simmons. Are you kidding me right now? All right, this is going to be my last pick of the draft here. Who are we taking? Al Hort? No, we're not taking a big. We're taking a guard. I'll take Sasha Vezenkov. Let's get some Vezenkov love in here. This is my final squad right here. Kyrie, Bane, Giddey, Reeves, Amin Thompson, Melton, Bogdan, Giannis, Zion, Bridges, Sohan, Vando, Vezenkov, Turner, Pirtle, Collins. There we go. That's the squad. That is the squad. Oh, let's do it completed. I'll show you. We're now up to. No, that's higher. I thought we were up. Oh, I thought we were higher than that. We are now up to, all right, whatever, 63. Let's see what our exposure looks like right now. We are down. All right, Keontae George still our most popular guard, followed by Murray, Bogdan, Sharp, Giddey, J-Dub, Christian Brown, Devin Vassell, Cade Cunningham, SGA, all over 15%. We look at wings, Zion at 30, but that's not including this last draft. Zion, Sohan, Jovic, Kawhi, PJ, JB, MPJ, all over 15%. And then bigs, Mark Williams, Wendell Carter, Time Lord, Mitch Robb, AD, Okongwu, Chet, all over 15%. That's our squad so far, baby. So far. Nice lighting on Mike all of a sudden. Yeah, well, the sun came out. It looked like it was going to be overcast. So, oh, come on, dude. Who the F is Vezenkov? No, dude. He's a EuroLeague MVP last year who signed with the Kings. Going to be one of their wing bigs off the bench for the Kings. I'm excited. Vezenkov's like a fun little pick there. Kyrie comeback season. Listen, I'll believe it when I see it, man. I'm not worried about Kyrie's game. It's his off the court game that like always seems to blow things up. So also I forgot we did a giveaway. Like the stream, subscribe, hashtag Kittle after our man George Kittle took us down 7K last night, baby. Also, Jeremy Sand in the chat. Jeremy Sand, tell Milo I said hi. I miss Milo. I miss him. I miss Milo goes to college. But yeah, like the stream, subscribe, hashtag Kill. We'll fire up a giveaway. Just a reminder, 89 Cavs are back tonight at 7 o'clock. NBA Bit, Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Shot Tank, 9 p.m. on Wednesday. And then Friday we'll be back with the Underdog Happy Hour. A lot of fun stuff as we pick up into the NBA regular season. I'm very excited. Very excited for hoops to be back. Even the preseason gave me a little tingle-tangle. But we're excited. We're excited. F Kittle. No. Oh, yeah. Common Man's a Cowboys fan. I forgot. Sorry. How about them boys? I know. That was a tough scene for them. Wait, I need to adjust my share screen here so that we'll do it like this. I don't like when it overdoes the border, but that's my end. I got to fix that on my end. Also, I remember Tesla asked about this is a little bit of an itchy sweater. That's why I wear the undershirt. But it is cozy. It is cozy. It's warm. I like it. I didn't go like aggressively with the Irish knit sweaters. I know like you probably don't look at it and immediately like, oh, Irish knit, but this is more my style than the aggressive one. We also, I'll be honest, guys, Kelsey and I, we did all of our Christmas shopping while we were over there. We spent, I think, $900 on Irish knit shit. Insane. But my mom really wanted one, and then once her mom wanted one, and then it was like it just started snowballing. And then we're like, what if we do all of our Christmas shopping right now? And we did. Yeah, the Dodgers and Cowboys get smoked. Weird weekend of baseball. The Twins evened it up, right? Twins looked good against the Stros in game 2. I feel bad for the Orioles, man. I was kind of rooting for Baltimore, but Rangers look good, man. Rangers have just been scoring runs. They had that walk-off, not the walk-off. Right? Wait, were the Rangers home? No, the Rangers were away, right? But that 9th inning, boom, to win the game for the Rangers, that was good. Merkermite says, who are you feeling at captain tonight? I got to look at it. I've been doing it on FanDuel just because I feel like it's easier to get different. Like the thing is with FanDuel, you're either coming in first or not last, but if you're not first, you're last. But the thing that I did there was just like, I knew that everyone was clicking Brock Purdy and Christian McCaffrey, the two most popular MVPs, right? Then you always have those sickos that like throw in a defense as an MVP. And then if you're on the Cowboys side of things, it's either Dak, CeeDee Lamb, Tony Pollard. So I was just trying to find the spot that I can get them. Like Kittle can have a ceiling game. We saw it. Obviously, I ran hot because he got 3 touchdowns. But I'm trying to find who can separate themselves from the field but not be the chalkiest of chalk options, right? So tonight when you look at it, Devontae Adams, Josh Jacobs, and then probably I bet you could get a little weird with Jordan Love as captain because I think everyone's going to be clicking Devontae Adams. A revenge game, right? I think you could get weird with Christian Watson, Jordan Love, Aaron Jones. I think Adams and Jacobs are probably the first 2 clicks, and then it's probably Watson. So I don't know, Watson or Jones. Oh, We the People. This is another good call. Jacoby Myers. Yeah, if everybody's on Adams, we forget what Myers did that first week, right before he got concussed because Jimmy Garoppolo left him out to dry. Adams is questionable. Adams is going to play though. I think Adams will play. All right, let's spin this giveaway here. Let's spin this here because I got to take the doggo out. If you win this thing, shoot me a DM at Mike's Carrion or in the Discord. Only 13 entries. Look, times have changed, dude. Top Shot is so dead. Here we go. Winner, chicken dinner. It's going to Shakes. Shakes. Congratulations, Shiggins. Big W. Thoughts on Berrios getting pulled in the Jays game while absolutely dealing? Yeah, it sounds like everybody's getting fired in Toronto. Yeah, I think it was more of an isolated incident, but Toronto, it felt like every move they made, every move you made was the wrong one. Mercamiest. God, one of these days, dude. Had a lot of Kittle, but last minute switched to Purdy thinking people wouldn't be on him. On DK, I was wrong. Kittle was lower owned and captain. Yeah. Kittle on FanDuel, which I know is different. FanDuel, because you're not like getting the price discount for doing it. FanDuel, he was 1.1% owned as MVP. So I was really only I wasn't like competing with a lot of people. Boston Base says thoughts on the Jaylen Brown leaderboard. You know what's funny about this, Boston Base? I don't know if that is a leaderboard or not. That's how checked out I am on the burning leaderboards, whatever. Those are only for a couple of people. If you're happy with how it's going, I'm happy for you. I'm not so interested on that kind of stuff right now. I'm not too interested. Yeah, Grote. I talked about Scotty Barnes, baby. I talked about him. All right, we got to call it there. I got to take this doggo out. So we'll be back tonight, 7 p.m. with 89 Cavs. Otherwise, I will see you tomorrow morning for the NBA bit as we recap what else is going on in the world of basketball. I hope you guys have a great Monday. We are out of here.